Wait, this is not a super chat, but real quick, Malia says, I can't super chat for some reason, but America is fighting itself and everyone else is egging them on. I live on the other side of the planet, and Trump derangement syndrome has total domination here. Why? Yeah, well, I do agree that America's totally fighting itself and everyone's egging us on. And I also think that the thing about Trump derangement syndrome is Trump is a great tool. He was a great boon for the cathedral, what we call the cathedral, which is like the legacy media, big social, deep state. Deep state being all, the intelligence agencies, the unelected government officials who stay regardless of who's president, the people who have an interest in growing our intervention in other parts of the world. And anyway, I think that Trump was a great boon to them because he was a tool that they used to just like mass manipulate people. And you can see that now when like we try to talk about some of these things and we say, look, the cathedral just shut off the president of the United States. Is it any more clear who holds the power in this country? It's more, the cathedral is more powerful than the president. And somebody's like, Trump, 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 Trump. And I'm like, I'm talking about Trump.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the cathedral, but it's such a good tool. They've used it to such a degree. And I don't know what they're going to replace him with now that he's gone. They've got to find a new boogeyman. And it might just be that my preacher was saying, maybe it was that he was the shield that was in some ways deflecting a little bit of the ire from their true target, which is the American people.
Yeah. Well, sheep, I mean, this was never about Trump. It was about the American people. And you got to keep in mind, from people from abroad largely get their information from news agencies abroad. And that largely comes from the cathedral in the United States. So if you're in another country, I mean, because I've talked to people about this in happening in China as well. If you're in another country, you're hearing the MSNBC, CNN, New York Times narrative. That's what you're hearing. You're not hearing like no one's listening to the War Room. No one's listening to OAN elsewhere. So they're getting all of most of their information filtered through that lens. The other thing I think that's important to understand about Trump, this is less of an intellectual. He's not an intellectual representative of America, but he is in many ways, he represents his kind of bravado and his swagger is something that is attributed by many people to as a uniquely American kind of attitude. And it's something that I think resonated with the American people. And it's something that's very foreign to other cultures. And so Trump is kind of a larger than life character. And there's something about him that I think a lot of people can look at and say, that's wrong. That's the thing that's wrong with America. That's the different thing about America. It's that Trump-esque kind of thing going on with Americans. They're all kind of trying to get rich, and they have kind of this arrogance and this swagger and like there's something. He's like a bull in a china shop, but America itself is a bull in has been historically a little bit of a bull in a china shops on the world stage, on the china shop on the world stage. So it makes sense to me that there would be a lot of TDS given those two factors. I mean, try and go anywhere in the world and talk about your right to bear arms with like just anywhere. Go anywhere and be like, oh, well, obviously we should be able to carry guns. I mean, you think it's bad in the United States to talk that way. Talk elsewhere, anywhere else, people will think you're absolutely loon. You're crazy. That doesn't even compute in most places. Like, what are you talking about? You crazy Americans. You think you carry guns around? Oh, my God. What kind of no wonder your society's a mess. Like, they are not in tune with the American spirit that we're talking about, where we can look at each other and go, many of us can look at each other and say, yeah, of course we should be able to carry guns around. Like, of course.
I think there's a funny joke there somewhere where you're saying America has been in the past a bull in a china shop. Well, now we're something in China's shop.
Yes.
But
now we're a bunch of bullshit in China's shop. I don't know.
There's something there.